Authenticity isn't becoming somebody new. It really isn't. It's slowly removing everything that never truly belonged to you in the first place. That never was truly you, that never was from here. Because if you've caught my last video in regards to the same thing, but that we inherit from our parents, that we inherit from our family, our extended families. You see, a lot of people, including myself, are talking about this authenticity and authenticity being the highest frequency. But we're kind of taking it back a step because it's the perception of it. How are we perceiving what we're hearing, what we're being told, what we believe, and how we perceive what authenticity actually is? Because for different people, it's different things. And that's absolutely fine. But let's look at it this way. And before we do, I just wanted to introduce myself. My name is Annette Beckham, and this is Annette Beckham Official. So thank you if you've been with me for a while. Thank you for sharing, and subscribing, and thank you for finding my channel. I really do appreciate every single person who is here, who is listening, who is watching, and I'm just going through my checklist here because I always forget something. So, as I said, I'm a author, a frequency translator, and a guide. And said my new book, The Frequency of Truth, and I've just realised I've matched the ticker tape with the top I'm wearing, so that's quite interesting. You'll notice I haven't got much makeup or anything like that on today because it is bloody hot. Okay, and I've got the windows closed just for now, and this will be a very, very short video. So with regards to all the frequency work I do, one-to-ones, etc., that can be found on alarianresonance.com. If you're interested in any of the blogs that I write, sorry, I just had to think of the word there, they're all on Substack and can be found underneath. And if you would like to support any of the work that I do, the Buy Me a Coffee is also there as well. So now we have that out the way, as I said, let's go back to that perception of authenticity. There will be a bit of a series on this, so look out for the next videos, because I think it is really important to kind of look at and start understanding. Because I did mention there around inheriting those beliefs, inheriting those that nervous system coherence, inheriting that those likes, those dislikes, those behaviors. So one of the things that I said in my last video, and I'm just going to read this out again, is for years my perception of myself was shaped by stories that I inherited about somebody else. I didn't realize we can mistake inherited perception for truth, where we're told often enough that we're just like someone. We begin looking for evidence that it's true. And whether you do that consciously or unconsciously, and this is one of the bits I wanted to pick out of that longer video, because I think it is really, really important. And it's kind of like, oh, if somebody says to you, oh, you're so like your dad because you da 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 da, yeah, then either consciously or subconsciously you start thinking, oh, am I, do I? And then if you do that thing, you go, oh yeah, that's a part of me, thinking So looking for evidence that it's true, even when much of who we are points may be in a completely different direction. But this does not take it away from the fact that if there are those behaviors that you like, if there are those strengths that you like, absolutely. But don't necessarily define it as somebody else's, because you own your own as well. Okay. So here we go. What I've come to understand is that we're looking at it from a multidimensional perspective. This human body, this human brain has two parts, but biology gives us body experience shapes our nervous system, and family influences many of our earlier patterns. Consciousness is something deeper. It expresses through this human life without being limited by it. Yeah? Without being limited by it. And this is my key point. It's kind of like, oh, they like that type of music, so I only like that type of music. No, I mean, that's on a very simplistic point of view, but it's just trying to get that message across. So yeah, consciousness is something deeper. It is expressed through human life without being limited by it. We inherit many things, but we are not defined by them. Yeah, it's not defined by them. That's not to take anything away from the parents and the biology, far from it. There is a personality traits, hair color, behaviors, likes, dislikes, and so much more that can come through. So maybe that was the wrong question to ask them. Rather than asking which half of me belongs to the mum or the dad or the aunt or the uncle, or which part of me is a part of them. Yeah? See where I'm going with this? I've gradually began asking the question, who am I beneath the story I inherited? Who am I beneath that story I inherited? From here. Not from here. Here is going, yeah, that music, yeah, that behavior, there, that like, that dislike. Oh, I'm like that because my mum's like that. I'm like that because that's what my dad's like. And I'm not saying this is right or wrong. It's just looking at the perception and authenticity through a different lens. Because as we were saying earlier, and I'm just going to look for the right notes here so I get the words correct, is that it comes down to remembering. Remembering who we are. Who you are. Who you really are. And perhaps remembering isn't about finding the missing piece. Maybe remembering isn't on this continual healing journey. And I'm not saying that's not a great thing, because yeah, fair enough, we may have all these different traumas and stuff, but you can get wrapped into kind of like your healing journey becoming your whole personality. Trust me, I did. So perhaps it's recognizing that beneath the family story, every inherited belief and every label we've carried, something that has always been quietly waiting to be recognized rather than perfected. Not fixed, but remembered. And that's going into here. That's going into that heart coherence, which I do talk about a lot in the frequency of truth, a lot more. And we will be talking a lot more about on this channel as well. And I'm very conscious of the time because I did want to keep this to be a very, very short video. But as I said, authenticity is not finding something new, being somebody new. Because you see, were you the type of person, not type, were you the person who has been through absolute complete shit, complete hell, up and down in your life, right? But there's a big but in there. Not mine because it's flat. But I don't know why I said that. Humour's everything. Made me laugh. Um, what was I going to say? Completely. So when I get downloads, my guides are very funny. Anyway, there we go. But at the heart of it, and at the heart of you, no matter what you were going through, you actually turned around with a smile. No matter if you were in the playground and all the kids were saying, "Oh, not even your dad wants you, you're a waste of space." Who would want you? Buck teeth and big glasses. Because you knew that you are that person who is sitting down. And I've told this story 1,000 times, and I'm going to probably tell it another 25,000 times. Was that intuitive, amazing being that was 5 minutes late, 5 minutes before that, speaking to the flowers, the elementals, and such. Because that's you. That's the heart of you. That's just an example, so take it as you will. And then you went through all these other ups and downs, whether it's divorce, whether it's betrayal, whether it's manipulation, whether it's X, Y, and Z, A, B, C. But that baseline never changed. When you were crying yourself to sleep, that was from here. You went back and held that. So, what I've come to understand is that looking at it from a multidimensional perspective, this human body, this human brain, yes, it gives us the experiences. So, if we're looking at it from consciousness, it's something deeper. Sorry, I know I've just flipped over topic there, but it's expressed through this human life without being limited to it. Yeah? Consciousness is something deeper. It is expressed through this human life without being limited to it. And we have always known that. It's time to remember it more. We inherit many things, but we are not defined by any single one of them. So, when you could look at it in the fact that, again, from a consciousness perspective, and I'm not going to go into too much of this because I'm 13 minutes into a 10-minute video. But it's that level of consciousness compacting, isn't it, into this human body, or being a part of this human body, which that's a taster for the next one. But I just wanted to really say that when somebody says being your authentic self, what is your perception of that? How do you perceive being your authentic self? What does that mean to you? Is it still saying, yes, that's my authentic self, and my parents, da 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 da? Yeah. Anyway, as I said, this was just going to be a quick video on a very, very hot day. I said thank you for listening. Thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing. Please do subscribe if you like this type of content. I think there's like a bell button for more that's coming up. To be honest, just looking through my notes, if there was anything else that I just wanted to say here, no. If there is anything else, please do. I'll link it back to the previous video that goes into more depth about the parental side. But yeah, From my heart to yours. Thank you for listening.